Hey Commanders fans, get ready because today we have exclusive news about our team and you can't miss a single detail. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive everything firsthand, and of course, leave a like to strengthen our fan base and show that we only have true fans here. Our commitment is to always bring you the latest updates, news, and everything that happens behind the scenes of Commanders. So without further ado, let's check out today's news.
Promising Commanders player suffers a brutal injury at the worst possible time. The season has been one major problem after another for the Washington Commanders. These problems have mainly centered around the constant wave of injuries that coach Dan Quinn has been facing. The wave of injuries has been relentless, with new long-term problems arising almost every week. Rookie cornerback Trey Amos, selected in the second round of the draft, was the latest to join the injury list, suffering a fractured fibula against the Detroit Lions, abruptly ending his promising first season. And there was another problem, reportedly less serious, but it doesn't help the Commanders' chances of winning their Week 11 international game against the Miami Dolphins. The Commanders will be without Treylon Burks for their trip to Spain. The Commanders confirmed that wide receiver Treylon Burks will not travel with the team to Spain. ESPN's Adam Schefter clarified the situation, revealing that the former Arkansas star underwent finger surgery after leading the team in receptions against the Lions. Schefter added that this is not expected to be a long-term problem, which is a relief. Burks should return after Washington's bye week unless there are any setbacks, but this further reduces the passing options available to veteran quarterback Marcus Mariota this weekend. Burks recently arrived in Washington after being released by the Tennessee Titans. He was promoted from the practice squad to the main roster almost immediately, and the flashes of talent shown in the Commanders' crushing Week 10 loss suggest he may be able to build a future for himself with the club. This is not the first time in his career that the 2022 first-round draft pick has seen his momentum interrupted by injury. Burks will be looking to overcome this setback quickly and, at the very least, left a positive, albeit brief, impression before being sidelined. Burks has a 100% reception success rate on 4 passes thrown his way. His 118.7 pass completion rate when he's the target is by far the highest of his professional career. It's a small sample size, but his physical approach and explosiveness off routes are traits few Washington receivers possess. With Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, and Luke McCaffrey all out of the game, the Commanders' receiving options are at best quite limited. Cliff Kingsbury will have to make the best of this unfavorable situation, and Burks' absence is yet another obstacle to overcome.
NFL Insider reveals important update on Jayden Daniels that Commanders fans can't ignore. Things may not be as bad as they initially seemed. It was the latest in a series of constant injury problems for the Commanders this season. However, things could have been much worse. Daniels' absence would hurt any team. He's the dynamic quarterback who took the Commanders to levels never seen in decades in his first season. NFL source points to possible timeline for Jayden Daniels' return after injury. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, citing sources close to the situation, Daniels' recovery time could be 3 to 6 weeks. That's a promising prognosis, especially considering the Commanders have a bye week in the middle of that period. Even so, this hasn't diminished the debate about whether Washington should put its most valuable player at risk in the final stretch of the season. I was told that Jayden Daniels could return in 3 weeks due to the elbow problem. He won't need surgery, he hasn't been put on the injured list, but talking to the staff and people close to him, this could quickly turn from a 5 to 6 week recovery period, depending on when they reassess the situation, to 2 to 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. If Daniels is in the later stages of this projected recovery, it would be prudent to keep him out of the firing line. If he is in the later stages, this may still be necessary if the Commanders continue to lose. It would be difficult for the former LSU phenomenon to accept this, but this team will play for nothing but pride. All Daniels can do is continue to work hard on his rehabilitation and take things one step at a time. The fact that he's wearing the sling doesn't inspire much confidence, but his mentality indicates that he will face this process with the same grit as always. It's also worth remembering that Daniels is still young and constantly evolving as a player. He had one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history. Stay tuned for even more news about the Washington Commanders. Follow Rigo's Rag here. There's nothing that replaces experience in a competitive regular season environment. Daniels gained a lot of experience last season, but he needs to further refine his game. At the same time, putting him on the field is dangerous, especially if his elbow isn't fully healed. Another awkward fall could have much more serious consequences, so it's a delicate situation that must be handled with extreme caution. The
Washington Commanders signed defensive end DeMarcus Walker. The Washington Commanders continue their behind-the-scenes moves and have announced the signing of veteran defensive end DeMarcus Walker, an experienced player who will bolster the team's defensive rotation in the final stretch of the season. The information was officially confirmed by the player's agency and reported by several NFL reporters. Walker, 31, was released by the Chicago Bears before the start of free agency, ending a two-season stint with the Illinois team. Since then, the defender had been seeking a new opportunity in the league. He even visited the New York Giants and Detroit Lions in April, but neither team reached an agreement. Now, after months of waiting, the pass rusher has finally found a new home in Washington. According to ESPN's John Kame, Walker initially signed a practice squad contract, a common practice squad signing for veterans at this stage of the season. Still, there's a good chance he'll be promoted to the active roster quickly, especially given the recent injuries that have plagued the Commanders' defensive line. The Athletic reporter, Nikki Javala, added that Walker is already integrated with the roster in Madrid, where Washington will face the Miami Dolphins in Week 11, the first NFL game in history played in Spain. This indicates that the player could make his debut this Sunday, wearing the Commanders' jersey on European soil. Walker brings considerable experience in the league. Selected in the second round of the 2017 draft by the Denver Broncos, he has 100 NFL games under his belt, with stints at the Broncos, Texans, Titans, and Bears. His best individual season was in 2022 with the Tennessee Titans, when he recorded 7 sacks, in addition to contributing consistently against the run. In Chicago, Walker has taken on a more frequent starting role, participating in virtually every game in the last 2 seasons, and accumulating 3.5 sacks during that period. Despite modest numbers, he stood out for his versatility and ability to play both as an edge rusher and in more interior defensive line alignments, a characteristic valued by Washington's coaches. For the Commanders, the veteran's arrival represents more than just roster depth. The unit, now led by Joe Witt Jr., who recently took over defensive play calling, urgently needs more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Despite being average in the league in sacks, 22, the team still lacks consistent impact on the front seven, something Walker can help improve even if only in specific rotations.